And we are officially live. Let's see what I'm seeing out here real quick before we get going. Boom, boom, one there. Yes, 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 yes. Ooh, it's hot in here. Dang, is it just me? All right, all right, all right. Welcome to today's interview with Shika. My name is TV from Kiz Passion. If you don't know who I am by now, then shame on you. If you don't know who Shika is after today, then shame on you. But I am the original founder of this Kiz Passion brand, and I host Monday Night Kizomba on the first Monday. And chances are you've seen me, my photos, my content in your face to try to persuade you to come out because we're trying to grow the community. It's a life mission of mine at the moment. And that's the reason that we're here today, because the mission is growing amongst all of us. So let me introduce to you, if you do not know, Shika Jay. Shika is a fantastic human being that I've known for a while. I'm going to allow her to introduce herself. But a quick story is that we actually go back way, way back. And she reminded me recently that I was one of her first dancers that people that she danced with, which was really neat. I've been around so long that a lot of the people that are running things now, that are dope ass dancers, event organizers, and they're traveling the world, I knew them when they started, and I get to say that. That makes me really happy that I had I don't want to say I had a hand in making them better, but I had a hand in class and meeting them and making sure that they continue to come. So Shika, thank you for coming. Thank you for being here today. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Miss Shika.
Don't you just hate these ambiguous questions? I mean, like it's so ambiguous. I don't even know where to start. So, I have been in the Dallas scene since what 2014, 2015,
I
something
think it's
like
14.
this.
I
2014,
think so, yeah.
and I host One Kiz Festival, and I teach Kizomba. Well, I mainly teach UrbanKiz now, and I teach a lot of Tarasho. And then locally, I've been teaching too lately. So the last thing that I did was a 6 week course on Kizomba, which I absolutely loved. And everybody that came out was so amazing. We had like a really, really good time during the series. And but outside of being a dancer, I am like a mom, a salesman. I don't know, you name it. I've probably done it at some point in time.
Right.
But yeah, I've been around in this scene for a little bit. For a little bit.
Fantastic, fantastic. By the way, we got 5 people in, 5 hearts. Thank you so much. Hit those hearts. Let us know that you're enjoying what you're hearing, and feed the algorithm so that way maybe it pushes it out to more people. That's what we got to do. Engagement, baby. But the big reason we're here today is because Shika has been around since 2014. I've been around since about late 2013, I think, but we met in 2014, not long after I started. I think it was late in that year. But we've both been around for a while, and we've seen a lot of things, and we'll discuss a lot of those things here shortly. But one of the coolest things, the reason for this, God, I'm going all over the place, is because Shika has something to share with you. And by now, you probably have already seen it, and you probably have been a little envious if you're not from the Dallas area. It's okay. We're going to share all the details. Shika's starting something that is called TwoKiz Tuesdays, correct?
Yep, TwoKiz Tuesdays.
TwoKiz Tuesdays. The idea is fantastic, and instead of putting words in her mouth, I'm gonna let her share her vision for TwoKiz Tuesdays and why we in Dallas, obviously in Dallas Fort Worth, are through the roof. When she told me about this idea and then she pulled it off, I about fell out of my chair because I didn't think anything like this was possible. Because she's a fantastic person that's built some incredible relationships over the years, she pulled it off. So Shika, tell us about TwoKiz Tuesdays, what the vision is, and how do you see this going down?
Well, it's interesting how this all came about. It's definitely a community effort of all of us kind of coming together and making something happen. But over the years, something that I've been missing since the beginning of my time is having like those Thursday night classes where we had an intermediate class, we had a beginner's class, and then we had a social.
Mm,
And it was something about like that time, it made it really magical. And we kind of came together as a community. We all knew each other. We were all dancing together just all the time. So um over the years of dancing, I was like, man, I miss this. I miss having that type of feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And I've tried and I've failed, and I've tried and I've failed, and I've tried, I think like maybe like 3 times at least,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And then something really magical happened. I think it was maybe about the beginning of this year. We start talking to one another. It was really coming out of the pandemic, and it's just like, oh, we got to teach again. We need this again. But it was a matter of, we have like a lot of instructors here, and it
We
was
do.
hard for everybody to commit to teaching weekly, because so many of us, like, we travel and we do like a lot of things, and we have kids or life and just all kind of stuff, right?
Right.
So I think Derek approached me at one point in time, Kaylin approached me at another time. Like, it was so many people that was saying, hey, we want to start classes, but maybe let's, not commit to doing it every week, and we kind of switch off and do it, 6 weeks here, 6 weeks there, and switch instructors. And then I had in the back of my mind, I was like, I really miss what we had in the past. And so I've been wrecking my brain constantly trying to figure out how to make this work.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really crazy because I'm talking to you, and then I have this in the back of my mind, and I'm like, how do I put all this together? Because I know I can't do it by myself. There's
Right.
no way I can commit to every single Tuesday, teaching every single Tuesday, hosting socials every single Tuesday. It
It's
was
a lot of
it was
work.
just something. It was a lot of work, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know if I can make this work. So I kind of shelved it for a while, and I kept on coming back to it, and I would shelf it for a while, and then finally I think we start to have these conversations, and I'm just like, okay, we can do this,
Mm-hmm.
but now how do I do this? Like, how do I make this
Right.
work? And then the conversation of Kaylin and Derek and Jesse and so many people had come up, and I was like, oh, okay, so if we're all like wanting to teach for a short period of time,
Mm-hmm.
and none of us can really commit to teaching year around,
Mm-hmm.
right? What if we all came together and teach at short periods of time? And then after teaching the 6 week series, this was the kicker for me.
Okay.
When
What
I
was that?
taught the 6 week series, the feedback that I got from the students was, I love the class. Shika, the class was amazing,
Mm-hmm.
right? But now how do we put this in practice?
Now what?
Because we don't have anything consistent to like really dance at. And I'm just like, oh my God, here we go. We're back at like Thursday nights, right? And I was like, okay, let's just make this happen. Let's figure out how to sit down, strategize, make it happen. So I was like, okay, all the instructors in Dallas, what if we came together? What if we all taught for short periods of time, where it's not a lot of stress on everyone,
Yes.
where everyone can kind of pull from the communities that they're building, and we can have a kick-ass social and have like the classes that people want as well, and not just the beginners classes, but also intermediate classes for people who are leveling up.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay. Then I started to reach out to people who was like, what do you think about this idea? What do you think? Do you want to be a part of this? Do you want to be a part of this? And it was really so amazing because everyone was like, I want this to happen. I want to be a part of this. I'm down with this. Let me know what it is. And really, this is just how it came about. But it's definitely been a work in progress.
You've been
It's been
talking
a
to me
work in
about it
progress.
for months. You've been teasing it out, and I have this idea, and I really want to make this work. I want to bring back the social, the post class social. So, for some context, and we can start getting into a little history here as well. When we met in a class at the time. Ainsworth was teaching and he had some other people that were helping him at the time. Ainsworth here in Dallas, he's the OG of the OGs. That was one of the original people, one of two people that were originally pushing it here in Dallas. He put on a class and he taught beginners and intermediate, correct?
Yes.
And after the class, they would have a social. And over the course, and he was consistent. So this is something that I need to reiterate to people, because I think that's why you knew that it had to continue to happen. You knew you couldn't commit to doing it every single week, every single month, because you have other things, as many of the other instructors that are already here do as well. They're traveling, they have their lives, they want to help, but they can't commit to every week. However, we need people teaching every week if we're going to continue to grow it. When we first took off and started to grow a name as a city was during this time with Ainsworth. He did this for at least a couple of years, 2-3 years, every single Thursday. We started to gain some steam. People from the other communities, the Salsa and Bachata communities, used to come out because of the free social after the class. So what you're doing is essentially an exact duplicate of that. You have beginners and an intermediate with a free class at the end so anybody can come and practice. That's what helped me. That's when I used to come the most, is after class, and start connecting with the community and developing our skills and putting into practice everything we're learning. And it didn't matter what school you learned with or where the heck you came from. It became something really fantastic. And we sustained it for a long time. What you're doing is that, right? And the model was already there. And I guess that's one of the key things I want to mention is it's not like you're inventing something. It's not like I'm inventing socials and the socials that I do on Monday night. It's the ideas are there. It's just a matter of implementation and execution. You took it, you grabbed it, and obviously the other part, and I want to hear about this. How did you find the location? Because this is going to be pretty dope. It's not in a studio, so this is a mix of a like what I'm doing at a bar, at a lounge kind of place, with still a learning environment and still having the social. So tell me about that.
It's really crazy how this came about because so I dance like other dances too. So I do like West Coast swing and I do DFW swing out and Chicago two step and like so many
FW swing
other
out. What the heck is
different
that?
type of dances, right? But there was a Chicago two step class and a social at Michael's. So
Hmm.
I went. And so I'm
I
sitting
see.
there and I was like, I know this place. This is the old Bluefish. It's an amazing place. Like the ambiance of the place, the where it's
Oh
set, the
my
way it's
God.
set up is really, really nice.
Yeah, I've seen the photos. It's going to be
So
fantastic.
oh my goodness, I was blown away how they reinvented the space.
Hmm.
And then so I was sitting there and I was like, oh my God, this is a dope space. And I was gonna completely go with a different space.
Yeah, you were talking about some
And I
daiquiri
just
place, right?
yeah, so I was gonna go with a place called Blends, and then when I went into that particular social, I was like, I like how this is set up. I like the ambiance. I like that people can order food,
Hmm.
people can order drinks. There's a patio. Like it's also a social environment. So in social environment is such a big part of social dance, you know. So I was just like, this. The place is amazing, right?
Hmm.
Um, and I tried to contact the person, contact, and I couldn't get a hold to her. And one of my friends reached out to us, and Johnny was just like, let me give them a call. I'm gonna give them a call because they know a really good friend of mine, and they
Okay.
know a really good friend
All
of
right.
yours.
Okay.
So let me give them a call and see if we can make this work. So he gave them a call and she called me back immediately the next day. And it was literally the Sunday before I was going to put blends on all of our
Oh,
our
wow. You
right. It
kidding?
was
That's where that
literally
came
that
from.
Sunday.
Yeah, because I was like, wait, this
Exactly.
is this the daiquiri place? This looks way too cool. Like,
Right.
I don't,
No,
daiquiri, I don't know.
it was it
Would have
was
been fine,
literally
but.
the day before I was going to do the promotion for blends,
Hmm.
because I have been trying to reach this establishment for quite some time. So when they called me back and they said we have Tuesdays open, you can go for it. Let's do it. I was like, ah. like the sky has opened, like I don't know what's happening, but this is like divine intervention.
Yeah,
I'm all here for it.
I've been through that.
Um,
I'm down for some divine intervention. That's the only way I got Ibu and Aldi's is I just walked in, and I was like, whoa, and he was
it
ready to
was like
go.
the right place at the right time,
Yeah.
literally, the right place at the right time.
Um, fantastic. I've wait till you guys see this. If you're not in the DFW area, I'm sure we'll end up with some photos of it. The place looks fantastic. It's in a nice part of town, Las Colinas. I actually do
Hmm.
yoga in that shopping center. I used to do yoga there a lot, and I like the area. So and there's plenty of parking. So it's gonna be fantastic. Now, what's the format so people know? Like we've talked about how you got here, how you were able to put it together, and the general format. But how is it laid out moving forward in terms of the teaching and the DJing? Because I want to make sure that you speak on that.
So this was the coolest part of it all. So there are 12, there are actually more than 12 instructors actually in Dallas right now. But
That's crazy.
12 instructors came together to make this happen. And 12 instructors, they all each have a month that they're dedicated to in a particular style that they love and that they want to teach.
Hmm.
So it's 12 instructors, 12 months, and each instructor has the whole month to really cater to the DFW community and the area that they want to teach, the pedagogy that they want to teach. And I think each one of us has really cultivated um, our own styles over a period of time, right? And
Yeah.
so every single instructor that's on that lineup gets to bring something to the DFW community, whether it be UrbanKiz, whether it be Kizomba, whether it be Tarashinya or Tarasho or Kizomba Fusion, or like whatever it is under that umbrella, you have it all in Dallas. So all 12 of us instructors kind of came together and we laid out a format as to which months we're going to be teaching. And so each month you can come in and get a flavor of Dallas on a really, really good level.
Hmm.
And then the DJs also has come a part of this as well. And so we have you and we have Carla, we have DJ Hondo, DJ Waves, and we have DJ Derek and Yuso and Araceli, who has all come together, who's gonna DJ, and each one has like a particular week of that month that they're gonna DJ as well. So it's really kind of coming together where everyone is responsible for like a day or a month, so to speak, and it really brings the community together as a whole. But it doesn't put so much stress on
Hmm.
someone where you got to continue it like
Yes.
every single week, you
Yes.
know? So I feel like it's a really amazing experience for all of us, just based on how we kind of came together.
Yes. Um, I feel like it's a fantastic idea from the moment when you laid it out. I'm like, this is genius. Because each individual instructor does not have to come under stress. Because managing, putting together a curriculum for a year, for 3 months, for 6 months is difficult.
Right.
Doing the marketing behind it to make sure there's people in class is difficult. All these things are difficult, and I think this proves that if you take out that piece of the puzzle, because it is a piece of the puzzle, we all need to market to get people to our classes. But you're going to take on the major
Hmm.
burden of that, and obviously I'm going to support you and push people to the classes as well, so the teachers can teach. What an
Yeah.
idea, right? So I find that that's incredibly beautiful way to put it together. And this is the other big thing. And we're going to share, you're going to have the teachers from the Kizomba umbrella, from the umbrella that we have, right? We're truly going to have a diverse community of dancers, right?
Hmm.
Now more than ever, the "We Dance Everything" moniker is actually going to like be more relevant than ever before, because we're teaching. There's people teaching every single one of them, and we're going to slowly but surely develop each skill set. And I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fantastic, and it's the fact that we were already considered one of the best scenes was pretty neat, pretty cool. But now what's going to happen in the next 6 months to a year if we continue this pace and we continue these classes? Out of this world. I wanted to speak on, though, the DJs as well. And something that you're doing that I thought was pretty clever, is that you're at least the format that you shared with me is that you're going to have an experienced DJ, and then you're going to try to have someone that's trying to learn. So give them the
Yes.
space to learn in a friendly space, which is something that I ended up doing with Monday night. That the fact that we have so many DJs in our roster right now is because of the Monday night Kizomba, because they have a place to be in
Absolutely.
front of anywhere from 50 to 100 people at any given point in time. It helped develop their skills. And another event, another location where they can DJ consistently is going to be a fantastic way to develop the current ones we have. Our skills are going to get better. But on top of that, bring in some new blood. And the next level is going to be sick. Like, I can continue on that for a while. But what was your thinking there? What were you imagining when you put that idea together?
It's really kind of it's a dope recipe. Like, I like how everything has kind of shifted in this way, because you have experienced instructors, maybe not so experienced instructors. You have experienced dancers, maybe not so experienced dancers. You have experienced DJs, maybe not so experienced DJs, kind of all kind of coming together to help build something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're constantly crafting your skill as an instructor, as a DJ, as a dancer, and you can do this week after week after week after week. And so I feel like when we kind of come together and do this, we're building ourselves as a scene. We're
Mm-hmm.
building the DJs in the scene. We're building the dancers in the scene. We're
Yeah.
building the instructors in the scene. We're building, and which builds the scene itself,
Yeah.
know,
As a
building
whole,
the
who else is
emotion
in it?
scene,
Yeah.
right? So it's kind of like all coming together where we're growing all together,
Right. Mm-hmm.
regardless if you're a dancer, a DJ, or an instructor. We're just growing together, and
If you
we're
just
growing
show
the
up, you're
scene
gonna
all at
grow
the
up. You're gonna grow, right? Whatever
same
you
time.
pick and choose, just if you're just gonna dance, that's cool. You're gonna grow. Continue to show up, and that's what happened when we first started. It's just that
Yep.
consistency of having a place to dance and practice our shit. Um, Now we got the DJs. Now we got the instructors that are leveling up. You have something to say? Go for it.
I was gonna say this.
Yes.
One of the biggest things that that happened to me is when I went to Paris for the first
Mm.
time,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I danced every day of the week, and I couldn't believe how crazy the experienced dancers were, and the not so experienced dancers were. And so I started asking people, like, how'd you grow so fast? What was happening? Blah blah blah. And they would say, you know what, we dance every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Every single day of the week you can go somewhere and you can
Mm-hmm.
dance, where they have like 200 to 300 people all the time. They have top-notch DJs all the time, top-notch instructors all the time,
Yep.
and amazing socials
Not surprised.
every single day of the week. And I was like, man, Dallas can be like this,
Mm, we can
So
absolutely.
what do we have to do to kind of bring this together, where the DJs come together, the dancers come together, and the instructors come together, and we can like really grow as a scene? What is it going to take?
This
And
is what
this,
it's gonna take.
I feel like, this is what it is.
This is what it's going to take. I've always had a vision, and I knew that we could get there, that we could sustain an event every day of the week, or at least 3 or 4 days of the week. We could, if we get enough people to come to be a part of the community. And that's one of the reasons why I do what I do, is to get as many people to come to Monday Night Kizomba, that then continue, a good portion of them will continue to come. And we do that over a few years. We're gonna have spaces like this. We're gonna have days where where we have 3 or 4 days at the minimum, where you can count on top quality dancers, top quality DJs, in a great dope ass venue, just having fun and improving our skill. I knew we could do it. It was just a matter of time. Which brings me to my next big point. Hello, Harris. And by the way, Tommy, I see you. Tommy said, "Don't worry, TV. I'll be making my DJ debut soon." Has he been talking to you?
No, but come
There
on,
it is.
Tommy.
Let's
Come
go.
through.
Let's
Come
go.
through.
Yes, we have a system. I don't know if you know much about baseball and how they nurture their talent. There's a single A, double A, triple A. They could be drafted out of college, and then depending on how good they are, they go to single A, which is like the freshman class, and they go all over double A, triple A. and they nurture them all the way through. They play, and they may make their debut 3 or 4 years later if they're decent. If they're really good, a year or two later. This is kind of the system that we're working on without really intending to, but it's working itself out. Like there's going to be a system where they can really start with you in a really low key, low threat environment in the social, and then work their way up to where we can then throw them in front of 100 people. I was going to say a few hundred. We're not there yet. In front of at least 80 to 100 people at Monday night, and then they start to get that under, like
Yes.
getting that experience in those reps. So Tommy, I see you. Love you, brother. I love to hear that enthusiasm. What was I going to say? I saw Tommy's comment, and it threw me off. Oh, yes. So here's my take on this entire thing. You were able to do this for because you're fantastic and because you've obviously were willing to take this on. This is a big project. Nobody said, hey, Shika, you're in charge of making sure that classes happen. You took this on because you were committed. Thank you for that.
Thank
I'm in my lane. I'm doing my thing, and that's my lane. I don't want to teach, and I really don't want to do more events, like if I'm being honest. That Monday night takes up enough of my time. But I believe that the reason that you were really able to pull this off is because of the 8 years that we have in, at least, if not 9, Araceli and Ainsworth. Araceli, if you're here, I see you. I'm talking to you and Ainsworth, which maybe someday he'll watch this recording. We got to pull his ass out here. But they were the first 2 individuals that really pushed hard to really introduce us to the dance, and they're the ones that pulled me in. They literally pulled me in. We can't be here unless we have those. Who's that? Somebody blowing you up?
Sorry about that dryer.
Oh, it's a dryer.
The dryer in the background. It's
Clothes are
really
dry.
loud.
There you are, Araceli. Araceli did that work in Ainsworth at the beginning. They're the ones that were holding us, keeping it together, and introducing it to us. They're the ones, main responsible ones. But what you're doing now would not be possible without those 8 or 9 years. And a good
Absolutely.
chunk of that time, y'all did the work, and it didn't succeed. Oh, good. It didn't succeed. And a lot of people, and I want to make sure to reinforce this a lot, is that they see that as failure. Yes, it is failure, but I mean, they see it as the end all, like, all right, that's it, we're done. Let's pack up, we're never going to do this again. But then somebody else would pick up I could think of it as a big ball that you're pushing, a big boulder. And you push it and you push it along, but you get tired. Life gets in the way. You just can't keep pushing.
Mm-hmm.
So you walk away, and the boulder's still there, but it's further along than when you start it. Somebody else picks it up. Somebody else picks it up. So the reason you have 12 instructors, or if not more, in the DFW area, well, some of them have moved in because of the dope-ass city that we have and the community that we have. So there's that. But the reason you can do that is because of all those years of perceived failure. They weren't failures. They were just attempts. We pushed that big boulder along, and now here we are. You can then help put those pieces. The pieces are there. The pieces to the puzzle are there. And you were able to somehow figure out how to put it together and work those relationships out. Because we've messed some things up. Mm-hmm. Whoever's listening to this is outside the DFW area. We don't all get along, and for sure haven't always gotten along. We've butted heads, as many of you in your cities have. Yes, you go to many cities, and I'm sure you hear the stories. And I hear them when I travel. I'm like, oh yeah, this is normal. We're human beings. We have our own interests. We all have our own desires, and if they don't match up, we're gonna butt heads. Mm-hmm. This is normal. Keep going. This is normal. Keep going. Hopefully, don't give up. Obviously, there's some tension. There's some stress. There's some real ramifications to that stuff. But the reason we're able to do it and we look like we all love each other is because we do have one mission, by and far, to build a community, to actually put something together for the people to come and enjoy this dance, enjoy this culture. Give me your thoughts. I'm sorry, like Araceli said, I'm preaching, but I just wanted to make sure that that's said. We're not perfect. We don't all get along. To this day, some of us don't necessarily love each other, but we're cordial, we're respectful, we'll say what's up, and we show up at each other's events. But here we are, and you have somehow masterminded it and got the pieces to work, got the people to agree, and let's rock and roll, bro, sister. what would you like?
I mean, I would say it didn't come without hardship. I think part of growing a community, it has its hardships, right? We've we've all tried to do certain things. We've all failed epically
Mm-hmm.
at doing certain things. I can't tell you how many times I've tried to
Here,
recreate
here.
Thursday nights, and I've have failed epically. And just trying to figure out why isn't this working? What is really the missing pieces? And I've really wrecked my brain around, how do we recreate the magic? Because it was truly magical for me. I remember, just a sidebar, I
Go
remember
for it.
walking into a Thursday night Kizomba, the social, very first night that I was there. It was something that was so magical about it. Like, everyone knew each other. It was so
Mm-hmm.
welcoming. I definitely didn't know what I was doing. I was scared as hell. Um, but I ran to the bathroom, and there I got
Oh
Brenda. Hey,
yeah.
what are
Okay.
you doing?
Let's get
Like,
Brenda
and
back
I'm
up.
like, oh, I'm gonna leave, I want to go away, kind of thing. She's like, no, everybody's really, really nice. So I came in, sat down, and then I remember Alex grabbed me and was like, oh, come dance. And he was so nice about it. And then after I danced with him, you was like, oh, let's dance. And you were so nice about it. And then you was like, oh, you're going to be really good. Like, just come to the classes. And I was like, well, what's really going on? Because my dance experience, everybody isn't that nice. It's super competitive,
Yeah,
and it's kind of hardcore from the dance experience that I came from.
right
But
here.
it was so welcoming and it was so magical, right? And so I felt like I kept trying to recreate that magic and recreate that magic. But the thing is that all the relationships weren't there. The relationships were definitely fragmented. Like, I was falling out with people were falling out with me, and it was just, at one point in time, we were super divided as a community. Everybody was kind of doing their own thing and building their own lane at some point in time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I think we all kind of matured in a way where we have been building and building and building. And I think all of us are on the same page as where we need to build as a community whole,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so after 8 years, right, of really bumping our heads and doing it the wrong way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I can't speak for everyone, I speak for me. I will say I've definitely bumped my head. I've definitely done it the wrong way. I've definitely tried to be by myself. I've definitely tried to exclude my presence from everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is not really community focused. And then over the years we start to rebuild that relationships, and we had some really good conversations and sat down and kind of talked about our problems, and said, hey, this is the thing that I was feeling. I was hurt by this. Shika, I was hurt by this. And just having like those real adult
Mm. You mean
conversations,
talking to each other
right?
and actually sharing what was?
Talking to each other, right?
This is what I was thinking. This is the story I was
Right.
telling myself.
So I felt like at some point in time, we just got to a place where we had real, genuine
Mm-hmm.
conversations. And then for me too, I had some genuine conversations because it was things that I was feeling, people that I absolutely love, people that were dynamic in my life. And I realized I hadn't even shared that with certain people. I hadn't even told you that you impacted my life,
Nah,
and we
uh,
didn't have fallouts, right?
no.
So really, it took me also maturing and saying, hey, I need to recognize the people that impacted my journey in such a big way.
Mm.
I need to kind of
Means a lot.
step back and say thank you,
Mm-hmm.
for how you've impacted my dance journey, or what you've done for me, even without you knowing that you've done this for me, right? So I feel like some of those conversations were very key. One Kids was definitely very key as well, because that helped me get over some of the issues that we've had with other people. Is really kind of putting all the issues aside, and just saying, hey, I love what you do. You are amazing at what you do,
Mm-hmm.
and I would love to have you on my platform. And that kind of
Mm.
broke the wall for some other things too, for us to have like
Right.
some real tangible conversations. So after those conversations, we kind of came together, and now 8 years later, after all of us trying, after all of us fighting, after all of us, getting along, not getting along, getting along, and being cordial. Um, Now we're all matured in a way where in the dance community we're matured in a way that we can say it's community first.
Hmm. Yes.
And so how do we come together and build the community first? And I
By
think
showing
that's
up.
where we are.
Yeah. You did that, and I applaud you, like I said earlier, because it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of conversations. I can only imagine the amount of conversations you've had to have to make this happen.
Yeah.
I make one subtle change to Monday night, and I had to have like 4 or 5 conversations just because to make sure everyone knows, right? And so for you, I can only imagine the level of work you had to put in to make that happen. And so shouts out to you because this is going to change us as a scene and take us to the next level. The proverbial next level, like how many levels are there? There's always another level. And I'm really excited to be a part of it. I'll be DJing every second Tuesday. Good call on that, by the way. Not the first Tuesday, but the second Tuesday.
Second Tuesday.
That was smart. I like what you did there. Even when you like, as soon as I got it, like, oh, she was thinking this through. So you've clearly given it a lot of thought, is what I'm saying.
Thank
It means a lot to me. We're growing as a scene. We're bringing in new people. My Monday night Kizomba is growing. My vision, and which I shared with you, which obviously you thought about, but like my vision was, I do my Monday night, first Monday of every month. Then you have your Tuesday, which so it means as soon as Monday comes up and we're announcing the next class to Tuesday, so I can easily see if we have 100 people in the house, which has been our goal, and we hit it last time. We have 100 people in the house. 5 to 10 minimum will show up to your class on Tuesday. From there, if not, let's just say 20%, 80, 20. 20 of our people from that class, from that Monday night, go to your class and go to what you're hosting. That to me already starts to feed the system. When I get a bunch of people at the top, the next level is a Monday night, the next level is Tuesday. Then Wednesday, we got Derek and Yessie teaching. So we have 3 days in a row to take classes, 2 days with socials. We had a Thursday night thing that didn't work out. We're gonna get something soon. Eddie's working on some things. Shout out to Eddie if you're in here. Love you, bro. He's doing some fantastic things with Southside Productions, and he's already dropped something recently that he's putting together in November. But we have at least 3 days out of the week that we have something going down. And what I'll share right now is, some people know this already, and I'm sure people have been talking. Starting in December, we're going to have 2 Monday nights. We're going to have one on the 1st and the 2nd. The 2nd because we are the official after party of the TwoKiz Festival. She could twist in my arm, which is verbally. She didn't say a lot. It was just me feeling the stress and the burden. Like, oh, but I really do want to do it because that's 2 back-to-backs. But now I have a team that's more involved, and I have a couple of people that are really pushing. So I didn't tell you this, but I may not be. I think I'll be there. Excuse me. It's going to be Monday. Excuse me. It's going to be your after party, but it's going to start. It's going to be the introduction of the team really starting to lead the second one. I don't know if I told you that. My next big announcement is starting in January, we're going back to first and third Monday of the month. I wish I had some. Wait, I do have some sound effects. Give me a second here. Where's the sound effects? Yes, that's right. First and third Monday. Talked to Ibu already. You did what you're doing. I was like, man, we need to keep it going. I can't do it every first and third. I am exhausted just doing it once a month. But once again, we have a team, and specifically we have Sandy that's taken this leadership role and has shown the commitment to actually like do some things, and she's asking questions, she's pushing, she's like blown me away in terms of actually taking on that type of role, because the team has a lot of roles, but she really wanted to push harder. So it occurred to me, like, let's run it. Let's go. You say you're about it. You're about to be thrown into the stove, into the oven, and let's see what you can do. See what you can cook up. First and third. So that's another day that can feed your Tuesdays. So it's like part of this big jambalaya of a meal that we're cooking up that everyone's going to eat from. Having people on Monday night feeds everyone else. This is what I've been saying from the very beginning because we're bringing in, dude, we're on a slow day we have 60 or 70 people, and that's if I'm not trying. That is crazy, right? So we're gonna feed them to you. We're gonna push them on down to you. We're gonna so announcement that has not been majorly announced. Who's your first instructor for Tuesday?
Alan Harris.
Alan
Alan.
Harris. So if you don't know, another some more applause. No, actually, Alan Harris, who just moved here from San Diego with his lovely wife and son, has is overly, I don't say overly, that sounds terrible. Is very committed to Kizomba. He is, if you look at him, he's a white boy, red beard. He doesn't look like he's down for the Kizomba, but if you want to fight, he will fight you. He is down for Kizomba for Simba. And he was teaching in San Diego, growing a massive community there. The guy was impressive just by sheer dedication and consistency. The man is dedicated. He actually told me a few weeks ago because he's closing on a house. He had family stuff here because he's moving here. But he said once that was done, he said, if I don't have classes going by October, I need you to bully me, to tease me, to make fun of me. He said that. I'm like, oh, I got that. But then you threw him on for your first month. The dude is committed. He's bringing the Kizomba, the Angolan feel, just the traditional vibe, and he's all about it. He's going to be teaching. And to help facilitate the system and feeding the system, he's actually going to teach at Monday night, this next Monday night on October 3rd. So he will introduce people to Kizomba and then naturally feed them on over if they want to continue the journey. There it is. Yeah, she did save the roasting. Feed them on over to Tuesday to his class for the month and then his ongoing classes for the month. And I think it's a fantastic little system that kind of worked itself out accidentally and not accidentally. But that's what I'm talking about. Monday night feeds the rest of the group, feeds everyone else. Everyone can eat, and the community can grow and skill. And I'm gonna stop talking. Go ahead and
TB,
throw in
let
your two
me let
cents.
me say this though. Like this is so fucking dope. Excuse the
No, go
f
for it.
bomb.
Drop them.
This is so dope because just kind of watching everything come together, right? From so many different facets. I mean, like you got Kizomba, you got UrbanKiz, you got Talasho, you got Tadashinyo, you got Simba. I mean, just everybody brings us a flavor to it. And then you got Monday night Kizombas, and is like the first and third Wednesday. Then you have like TwoKiz Tuesdays, and then you have classes happening during the week. Like the way that this shit is coming together, it's amazing. And like I sit back and I'm just like, well, damn. Like
Damn.
it's really
Damn.
amazing to watch.
Yeah.
It's amazing to watch like all the puzzle pieces come together and they fit. Is so amazing. Like I don't know. I'm throwback. I'm throwback.
Same. Um, and of course, once you announced it, by the way, once you shared it with the world, and I knew this was going to go bananas because how do you pull that off, right? Oh, of course Dallas does it. Of course they did it. Seeing the responses and they're like, oh, this is the way community should work and da 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 da, and of course we're going to take it because we did work hard to get to this point. But the
Yes.
reality, guys, I'm telling you, and I'll repeat this again and again, this doesn't happen without all those 8-9 years of sacrifice, those years of feeling like failures and that we weren't ever going to make it happen. I was convinced because there's this, I don't know if you're familiar with this rapper named Simba, new up and coming dope ass dude out of California. He has a song that I love. It says, "It takes time. It takes time. You think you're failing. No, we're putting in those reps. We're understanding. And I think the coolest thing is that we're also finding our lane. We're finding
Yep.
what we're really good at. Because when we start, we want to do everything. Go ahead. You have
That's
something.
where it
Drop it.
is. No, that's where it is. Like it's really finding our lane. It's finding where we fit. It's finding how to be like a part of this well-oiled machine, like each cog, like everything has its place, right? Every instructor has its place. Every DJ has its place. The promoters have their place. It's
Mm-hmm.
really kind of coming together. The dancers, they have their place. It's amazing to see how everyone understands what it is that they're doing, what it is that they want to do, and they do that only. It's not one person trying to do everything.
Yeah, and that's what we all try to do, and that's why we get burned out at the beginning because you kind of
Yep.
had to. There was not many other places or many people teaching, so you had to be one of the main dancers that was out traveling and doing all those things. They then had to come and put together a curriculum, put together the class, find the venue, pay for rent, do the marketing, teach the class, now continue to nurture those people, then continue to level them up. Like it is easy to burn yourself out and then try to put together social so they can dance. It's that's the reason a lot of people quit. And then it's also easier to then butt heads because you're stressing, and you have different visions, and you're not agreeing. You're going to not get along, and maybe even hate each
Yep.
other for a few years until it simmers down a few years later. Let's be real, right? But we're here and we're growing. And whatever city you're at, if you're, I don't know, I can't really speak for the smaller cities because that's a little trickier. There's not enough of you. But if you have over 1 million people or 500,000 people that live in your city, chances are you can make it work. And just know that it's going to take time. Keep pushing that boulder. Keep pushing it until you get it further along and let somebody else take it. Somebody else will eventually, and then they keep pushing it along.
And can I say something real quick?
Absolutely, go for
Because
it.
when you talk about this, you talk about like kind of how everyone is kind of coming together, right? This was like Kelly came up with TwoKiz Tuesdays, which
Yeah,
is
she did. I
amazing.
saw that in the conversation. Like
Pam,
that, you threw it out, and
right?
she like dropped it. Like, oh damn, that was dope.
Pam helped out with like all the graphics,
Hmm.
right? Um, Gil is bringing in DJs from. He just introduced me to another DJ that's in the community. Is like, hey, here's another DJ. Here's
Who
an
did he
Afro
introduce you
house
to? I gotta
DJ.
ask. Who did he introduce?
Her name is Nina, DJ
Oh,
Nina.
oh wow. I don't know
Yes.
her. I
So
love it.
like so many people are rallying behind this because they understand now community, right?
Yeah.
And it's so I feel like it's so many people that you can reach out to in your community in order to make this happen. And it doesn't necessarily have to be someone that's just right here, right now. Just pulling from the Afro house community, Afro beats community that
Oh
we
man.
have here, Angolan and Kizomba community that we already have established. Like it's so many people that's just kind of making this work. It's just it was just amazing to see. It was complete it blew my mind back. Completely blew my mind back, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're growing and we're getting the attention of everyone. So something I've always for Monday Night Kizomba, it's always been my mission to keep it to Kizomba, UrbanKiz, everything under the umbrella. I don't play any bachata, I don't play any salsa. Sorry, Brazilian zoukers, no offense, but I don't cater like just to play the Brazilian zouk. It's everything under that African and Kizomba umbrella. But we're starting to get their attention. The Angolans are starting to come out. The Africans are coming out in mass. We have now an Angolan DJ that will be a consistent player in the house, and he's a pretty dope ass dude. He's gonna bring the kizomba. He's gonna bring the semba. He's gonna bring the zouk. So we're getting the attention, and they're approving. To me, like I had a gang load of the Angolans there like 2 months ago, and they're like, "We like what you're doing. This is dope." We essentially approved, which was really a cool feeling because I've always wanted to make sure that they knew that I was trying to respect the culture, do the best I can, and to have them present and dancing and enjoying themselves and actually walk over and tell me that they enjoyed themselves made me feel like, okay, we're doing right by the Angolans, by the culture, and we'll continue to do a better job as well. So for me, it's happening, and we're tipping. So there's the tipping point. Malcolm Gladwell
Yeah.
talks about it in his book. We're tipping. We're literally to where we can now count on at least having 2 nights. But getting back to that point, we might get close to 3 or 4 nights within the next year. At the pace we're going, we continue bringing new people. We keep them now. We were leaking. We're a leaky boat. We were leaking because we didn't have classes. We didn't have weekly classes, or where we did, there was just one, and it was difficult, right? Now we have two people teaching, three if you count. I'm sorry,
Sammy and
Sammy.
Tuesdays too.
So we have
Yeah.
three people teaching consistently, three groups teaching consistently. Now we can keep them and not have a leaky boat. Keep more of them. Now we continue to add new people. We keep continue nurturing them. In a year's time, between all our joint efforts, I guarantee we'll be double, if not triple, the size that we are today.
I agree.
Period. And if you thought we were excellent community, or if you thought we were great dancers and had great DJs, this is it. Like, we're tipping to your vision. You sent me your Paris lineup, right? What was it? Monday here, Tuesday here, Wednesday here.
Yep.
We're going to get to that point, which brings me to my last point in all this. For me, that I wanted to make, and I'll feel free to interrupt me at any time. By the way, Shika. Sometimes I just start going.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Okay. We've done a fair job of developing dancers, and we're gonna develop them even further. They're gonna grow so much more faster. Yes, not to mention yes, that's it. I'm gonna drop this in the chat. Joanna Bryan says, not to mention all of us moving there. So you're finally moving, Joanna. You've been talking about it for years. We've done a good job of developing the dancers that we have here. We've done a good job of developing the teachers. We now have places for them to teach. Monday Night Kizomba is one of those places. I love that's a platform. The DJs are dope as fuck. But one thing that became apparent to me over the last 6 weeks, is that where I'm lacking, where I have not done a good job, but now I've changed, that is developing people to put events together, event organizers, intentionally training them and preparing them. So I've, in the last month, 3 weeks, decided to change my approach with that and be more proactive in actually talking to some of the team members that are about it. Gil is looking to do it. Obviously, Sandy, not just, hey, host the event, but actually training her in what I do and how I go about it. Because I think what it comes down to, like anything else, if you don't have the confidence that you can go host your own event, it's going to be challenging. Maybe you want to do it, but you're not going to. You're going to be hesitant. Well, I would like for them to feel much more comfortable. Hey, TV, I'm going to do my own event. Go for it. I don't care is what my big deal. Like, I want more people putting on events. And if it means that I will share my secrets and I will tell you how I go about it, how I market, how I nurture that type of relationship, I will, and I have. So that is my next big goal in the next year, is to train 2, 3, 6 people to be able to run their own events, know what's involved, and like the investment that it takes in time, money, energy, and be real about it.
I think it kind of gets back to that whole vision of, like I said before, having somewhere to go every night of the week, and us kind of working and collaborating as a community where we're building dancers and adding to that community constantly. Like, I definitely would love to see this community where it has a Monday night, a Tuesday, a Wednesday, a Thursday, a Friday, a Saturday, Sunday. You can go anywhere at any day of the week in Dallas and dance and get classes and a social on a really great scale with really great dancers. And
Yep.
I think that is the vision of every single DJ here, every single instructor here, and dancer here. And that's why we're able to pull it together the way that we're pulling it together.
It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I'm sure if I lived outside the city, I would be like, damn, I wish it was like that here. I wish they got along as well as here, as well as they do there. They clearly know what they're doing. And hopefully this conversation has illuminated you on the fact that it's not as rosy, peachy as it seems. It's just a
Right.
handful of people that have continued to put that work in and continue to work for the community. And I don't know. I don't know what to tell you other than that doesn't end up being more redundant. Like, we're building something amazing. When I walk away from this, I am going to be extremely proud of what will have been built and what will continue to grow long after me. This is not for me to be in it forever. There's others that can do a much better job than me once they're given the opportunity, and I'm hoping to do that for them.
Same.
Any last thoughts? Wait 1 second though, before I let you say what you may want to say. Hey people, if you have any questions, how many of you in here? You've got 12 people. Look at that, pretty dope. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in there right now. I'll wait a few minutes. Any final thoughts as far as Shika on your part that you'd like to share? Anything I may have missed? I may have any topics that you would want to touch on?
I don't know if I have anything much more to say. I think we covered a lot, but the one thing I do want to highlight is that, and it is a reiteration of what we already said before.
Yep.
Like, it kind of takes everyone coming together, whether we get along or don't get along, but just understanding the community, and everybody is community focused. Everybody is about community building. Everybody is understanding what part we play in this well-oiled machine, right? I know at some point in time I'm going to phase out as being an instructor. At some point in time I'm probably going to be a promoter for a while, and then it's going to be beyond past me, and hand it off to someone else, right? But it's really just a matter of understanding what part we all play right now. And it's amazing to see that everybody is like, yo, I'm down for playing my part.
Hmm.
I'm down for playing my part. And that took time, and it took us all going through hell and high water and kind of coming back collectively to say, you know what, I'll agree to it. Because it could have been people that say, oh, I don't want to work a part of this event because this person is on the lineup, or I don't really like you, Shika, so I don't want to be a part of this, or we had our fallout, or whatever.
Yeah.
Because trust me, I've had my fair share of fuck ups over the last 8 years, 9 years, or however long it's been, right? But I think that we've all come together to say we want this for the community.
Hmm.
And luckily, I just was in a position where I was like, can I reach out to you? Can we make this happen?
Hmm.
Right?
Yep.
So,
Thank you. Thank you. Um, I'm glad we're here. I'm glad we were able to make it to the other side. And I'm sure we're still going to have some conflicts here or there. But hopefully, in due time, we also, now that we're more mature and if it's serious, we can actually have those conversations. Um,
yeah.
because I think we are. That's one of the big things for me that I realize is if you meet somebody at 30, 10 years later at 40, they're going to realize that at 30 they said and did some things that were foolish, although they thought they were
Right.
in the right, or maybe they were, but they realized I could have handled that better, and I see why you treated me that way, TV or Shika, right?
Exactly.
And vice versa. Hey, man, I was an idiot. I thought I had it all figured out, and da da da, right? So it's just knowing that through maturity, it takes time, and hopefully both parties are able to actually have that conversation. Tommy asked, TV, why are you so awesome? Same question as Shika. I don't know. I can't answer that without acknowledging my beautiful girlfriend and my lovely daughters. Shouts out to them for supporting me and loving me. I think that's my reason for being awesome. I'm loved. Shika, what's your answer to that? Thank
Oh
you,
my
Tommy.
goodness. I would say I'm not who I am today had it not been for my family, and especially my girls. My girls, they shaped me in my way of thinking. They push me, they press me. They get me to think outside the box a lot.
Yeah,
Because they are
kids will do that.
forever thinking of the box, you know. And I don't want to go on my soapbox of like the parent thing, but a big reason why who I am today is because of them.
They'll push you. The best personal development tool is being a parent. They will make you step up, or you might mess them up. So, shout out to you.
True.
All right, I agree on that one. Femi asked, "How do you resolve or deal with interpersonal conflicts, e.g., ego related?" I'll let you go first if you want to try to take a stab at that one.
Ooh, ego is a big thing. I would say probably years ago, we were all dealing with our own ego. We were all dealing with our own brands. We were all dealing with our own. You remember these
Mm-hmm.
days, right? TV.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Everybody had their own brand. Everybody had their own thing. We all had our own egos.
Mm-hmm.
I think is a part of dancing and maturing. I think, but maturing is a big part. And also that failure kind of comes into play.
Get
You
humbled.
try to do something and you realize you can't do it by yourself. That's a hit to your ego, and it's going to do either one or two things. It's going to make you just give up completely, or it's going to make you self check and say, okay, what am I doing wrong? What do I need to change? And sometimes that thing that you need to change is your own perspective. And I know for me, one of those things that I needed to change was how I was looking at things. So I had to go back and say, okay, Shika, where did you mess up? What do you need to change? What wasn't really your fault, but you need to maybe like
Nonetheless.
repair relationships,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, and that's another check to the ego. So it was a lot of maybe failing, and it was a lot of not getting it perfect that made me check my own ego to say, you know what, this isn't a one man show. This is a everyone show.
Hmm. Good answer. How do I resolve or deal with interpersonal conflicts? I don't really have them. Personally, what I if I'm truly invested in that individual, and I know that I it was a misunderstanding, or it was my own ego. I think I do a fair job of checking my ego, because for me, I do this for the community by and far. I try to lead and make decisions as the leader, because in my organization, the way I tend to run it, I am open to suggestions. People give me ideas. People give me their feedback, but ultimately, I make most of the final decision on everything, because it's much faster to act. If
Mm-hmm.
we do it by committee, then we're going back and forth trying to decide who's right, who's wrong, who's more right, who's more wrong. But if someone checks me, or there's a conflict within my group, which there never has been, they're more than free to let me know. And I don't, as it relates to the community, I check myself, because it's like, what's best for the community? The
Yep.
next thing for me is obviously, is it going to take more time? Is it going to take more energy? And is it going to take more money? If none of those things are present, then I do what's best for the community. And so it's hard to speak on this within the dance scene, because I've always personally, and Shika, you can speak to this if you feel like I'm being I'm being deceiving. I've always tried to stay above it. My approach is like, let people do their thing. And I do have one story without naming names. I just remembered. But for the most part, I stay out of it, because I don't care. Like, it's them versus them, and I'm not going to get into it. But when it is apparent and it's in my face, I just call it out. We had a meeting years ago,
Yep.
and I had to call someone out. Like, dude, what are you talking about? You're confusing as hell, and I don't know what you're talking about, and you're kind of being insulting, and just calling it out. Frankly, like in those conversations, I call it out if we're in front of each other's face. Outside of that, I can't really I can't really comment on it, as it relates to dance, because by and far I stay out of it. She could, you remember that?
I remember that conversation.
What are you
I
talking about?
definitely remember that meeting. I remember that meeting. It was a come to Jesus
Yeah,
for
like,
sure.
the fuck you talking about, homie?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, but yeah, just for me, what I do in my life is calling it out amongst each other. Like, yo, this is what I see, what I saw. This is the way I feel. This is what I saw. This is the way I feel. Like, just realizing, like, oh, we're both trying to reach the same goal. You just had a different approach. My bad. You do you, I do me, or let's see how we can merge it together. That's how I genuinely would do it in my business and with my family. And I try to use it whenever I can within the community. But like I said, it doesn't come up much. Michael Ho said, for TwoKiz classes, will there be any discounts if people want to take both intermediate and beginner classes?
It's really interesting. This is interesting. Yes, you can take both intermediate and beginners classes. At some point in time, I plan to incorporate something that Ames did. At a time, we kind of grow and grow and grow. And I remember he reached out to me a while ago, and when he was like, "You can start coming to intermediate classes," but one of the things that I really loved is that the people who were truly on an intermediate level and they came and took the intermediate classes, they stayed behind in the beginners classes to help the beginners along.
Mm-hmm.
It was truly
Mm-hmm.
a community effort. And I would love to see like those people who've gotten to intermediate stage come to the beginners classes and really help cultivate those beginners into becoming like better dancers as well. And so I've figured out a system where this works as well. And if you have like any questions about it, definitely reach out to me. I'll let you know. But yeah, I do encourage like the intermediate dancers to come to the beginners classes as well to help out those beginner students. And then once those beginner students graduate to the intermediate classes, hopefully they would do the same and just kind of reciprocate the love that they got before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it takes a community. Um,
Absolutely.
I love that. I love that. And it helps them learn as well. When one teaches to learn, I'm a big believer in that philosophy. So them showing up will help them grow as individuals, but also help the others. Like, oh, this is possible. Uh,
Absolutely.
Another discount question. Tommy asks, will there also be discounts for college students?
um, that's something that I haven't thought about yet. But I feel like the classes are fairly reasonably priced, but it's not something that I thought about yet. So I don't want to
Yeah.
be like
Nobody's
too
asked the
ambitious
question.
and say, sure, go ahead. No. So I haven't thought about it yet, to be in all honesty.
Should put that on, jot that down for later. Because there's
Yep, I am.
Tommy got the hookup with all the college kids.
I know.
Ever since we
Tommy and Michael
Ever since
and
we lost
Jamie.
Babyface, Tommy's now the lead. Tommy.
Tommy.
Yes. What do we got? Anais. Harris, Redbeard, Allen with two L's said, I didn't deal with the Dallas hardships as the new guy. I think he meant to say I don't deal with. Dude, by the way, I need you to start proofreading your text and your messages and adding commas and periods a little more because sometimes it's really hard to understand what you're saying. But I think you meant to say I don't I don't deal with the Dallas hardships as the new guy, but my old scene had its own. I'm very grateful about the collaborative, I lost the word, and community building efforts Shika and TV are doing. Thank you for that. As the new guy, you're getting thrown into it. I love you, bro, because you're doing the first class. So
And he was a
that's
trooper about it too,
yes,
which is amazing.
yeah, he really is. I've known him for a while. Met him in San Diego. He hosted me and really got to know him and his wife. Beautiful, lovely, amazing, crazy wife. One day she'll come out and join us. Candy Nicole asked, let me see, will instructors be teaching tarasho? We want more tarasho, please, and thank you. Oh, we have someone?
Tadasho is up to the instructors that teach, but if you look at the flyer, it kind of says everything that we do specialize in. So there are definitely like your fair share of Tadasho instructors, and Tarashinya instructors. So it's like so many things that you can learn coming to TwoKiz Tuesdays. At some point in time, we're gonna add compa and Afro House, but that's something that I'm working
Oh,
on, like
yes.
in the future.
Which brings this great segue into this question, but once again by Candy Nicole. She's got the questions, man. What's your opinion of compa in the DFW scene? Is there a demand for it or nah? There's an entire Haitian compa community in Dallas. Let's combine forces. We already play it. We could play a little more, and my impression is that it still falls under the umbrella of actually when right before the COVID hit, before the shutdown. I had an ad and a promo I was running where it was like 100% Kizomba because I don't want people coming and expecting something else. I don't want to mislead them. So like 100% Kizomba, 100% an UrbanKiz, and 10% compa. We're terrible at math. So yes, I feel like there's a place for it. Every time it comes on, people light up and lose their shit. And I think there's more and more of it. There's more and more of a
Yes.
need for it because the community is asking for it, and I think it still falls under the umbrella where I don't think I'm going against my mission and my vision for the community.
Yeah.
Is there demand for it? Yes. There's an entire Haitian community. Yeah, they need to come out then. The more of them that come out and the more of it that there's a need, we'll play a little more. But at the end of the day, I will stress this: it's still Kizomba and UrbanKiz. Those are
Absolutely.
my two focuses. I can't be responsible for everyone, but I do feel like there is a place, and we can definitely play more of it. Combining forces, yes, we can tag team a little bit. We can then tag team them back out. I know some of our people really love to play it as well. BJ loves playing it. Waves
Gil,
loves to play it.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
waves.
yeah. Chef Taste by Tosh Says you succeeded in staying above the bull. I respect that, and it's what led me to Kiz Passion events. Don't change. Yeah. My goal is to, even if people start to break out into little skirmishes as more people come in, because I think it's only natural as human beings, there's going to be conflict. That's what we do.
Right.
I will remain above it. Like, y'all have your fights out there, then come dance and have fun, then go fight again. Like, it's the way I see it. Harris, if there are compa classes that are around, I will go if you know of any, Candy. So, Candy, hook us up with that details, that info. Because I don't know of them. I don't stay in touch with
Well,
that
it's a
community.
big Haitian community here. There's a really big Haitian
Interesting.
community here. There's a really big Afro beats community
Oh,
here
man, I
as
want
well.
more of them out. Yeah. I like,
Yeah.
dude, I want our Afro set and Afro beat set. I want that thing to be, and we're gonna change some way in the way we dance it. By the way we lead that, so we can have more people like participating. Because I also, that's another thing we need to develop. Oh, I love Afro house. I love, like, you know how I am about that. So let's make that happen. Let's start bringing them in, and maybe you can do a free class,
Yeah,
dude.
I
Let's.
was thinking. I was definitely thinking about like 2K Tuesdays, about bringing some of them in, and it's really crazy. Like they do like this whole Afrobeats battle
Let's
ciphers. Like
go.
it's super super amazing.
I'll do a
So
terrible job, but I'm down. Let's go. I'm down for that. Let's. I'll have them at Monday night and have them teach a class. Let's do that. Hook it up. Compa is live. Candy Nicole, let me know too. Yes. Brittany is all about the compa as well. So we got several votes for compa in the house. If you don't have any more questions, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. I'll give you a few more seconds before I wrap it up. Thank you, Shika. Thank you for what you're doing. I appreciate you greatly. You're doing some amazing things. If you don't know already, besides October, I'm doing Monday Night Kizomba on October 3rd. So in 2 weeks, 2 weeks from today, she's debuting her TwoKiz Tuesdays. Then we have Wednesday with Derek and Yessie. So we're going to start having, that's 3 days. So get ready, team. Get ready, local community. Let's get it going. Where's I going with that? And Shika will continue doing that come December, doing that for October, for the next year. In December, what you doing, Shika? Share with us what you're doing in December, besides
of
opening up
course.
Christmas gifts.
So December 8th through the 12th is definitely One Kids, and this week, that whole week is gonna be crazy live. I mean, live because the Tuesday going in. I know Pam is teaching on that Tuesday. She's teaching
Oh, God,
actually for the
yes.
whole month. Like the month of December is Pamelita's month, so she's going to be teaching on that. And then we have One Kids that weekend, or pre-party on Thursday, after party with like Monday night Kizomba at Aldi's, and then Tuesday again with TwoKiz Tuesdays with Pamelita. So it's so many people that's already like, okay, I am
They're staying for
here
the week.
for the whole week. I'm here for the whole week. I'm just gonna like reserve that time, come and stick around. So if you guys need like any discounts on the hotels, like hit me up, Shika Jay, on like my Instagram or my Facebook, and I'll let you know how to get the discounts at the hotel if you're gonna stick around for the
That's
full
dope.
week.
Great. Sorry, I'm reading comments and trying to keep up with your conversation. We're doing some fantastic things, and that I think leads me to the last little inception moment that I wanted to drop on you people. What if you just want to come hang out in Dallas, but there's no festival, and then there's no weekender? It's okay. We got you. Come at the first of the month, maybe the second of the month. And by the way, Eddie is working on something, so maybe we have something on that particular weekend leading up to Monday Night Kizomba, to the first or the third of the month, that Saturday or Sunday. But come, hang out, and you can have your little mini festival. You're
Yeah.
going to have one Monday night, which many have said is like a festival. The vibe is like a festival. So, and it's free, so it's the cheapest festival you will ever go to. Then you go to
Absolutely.
TwoKiz Tuesdays on Tuesday. Then you go to Wednesday and hook it up with Derek and Yessie. Once again, Derek and Yessie, what's up? I'm hooking y'all up with some free promo. Hook it up with some tickets or something. Give me a Coke next time you see me. And hopefully by then, by the way, we will also have a Thursday. We're working on that. We'll have our Thursday back. So you can literally have a mini festival during the middle of the week. Come hang out, especially if you work remotely. There's people that might be able to host you, and if not, I'm sure there's going to be some spots you can get. So there's that. That's all I got.
Can I say one last thing before I wrap up,
Absolutely,
please?
go.
My thing is, I just want to say thank you, TV. Thank you so much because you have been a sounding board. You've been someone I've been able to talk to, bounce my ideas off of, like just talk through my thoughts and everything. So I appreciate you so much. You've pushed me, you've encouraged me, like you motivate me, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for having you as a sounding board. I thank you so much for being a friend of mine.
Absolutely, it's been a pleasure. Your growth, like I said, just even knowing that I was there from the beginning, that first day you walked in, I knew you would be great. I didn't. That was no bullshit. Like I didn't. I don't just say that to people. Like I tell people to come to class, but I don't say to them, "Hey, you're gonna be good. Just keep coming." I say that to people that I can feel it. You were one of them. I didn't know that you would be doing these types of things and be such a integral part in the community. Neither did I know that I was going to be doing what I'm doing, to be honest. So the fact that we're both here having this conversation and being so involved in the community is kind of outlandish to me. So knowing that we can work together and continue to talk, and knowing we have a good relationship and a friendship that we can bounce these ideas off of, it's easy. It's just having a conversation with a friend. So let's keep doing that. Let's keep collaborating. Let's keep doing things and helping the community grow. And that's what I'll end up doing. And I'll probably be in the background with you in the next year or two, just letting people do their thing. And we're just kind of there, just like, huh, we helped do that. Thank you, everyone. Here's a cool comment from Eden. Angolan, by the way. I now know that for a fact. He said, great live and very commendable initiatives, TV and Shika, community first. Yes, sir. Not to add that, it's like there's not a lot of money anyways. Like, so it has to be about community. Anybody that's trying to get rich off of this is foolish. Like, you have to do it for the people. Come for the dance, stay for the community and culture. I'll end with that. Have a great night. Thank you for everyone that stuck around for the whole thing. I love you guys. I'll see you on Monday Night Kizomba and 2Kiz Tuesdays. And one Kiz on December. Bye-bye.